Hey everyone, this is my Sarah and Lois review episode 4, season 3. I believe that's right. The episode's called Too Close to Home, not sure why it's not called From Home, I mean, whatever. This episode was top-notch fun. I enjoyed seeing how all this things played out. I'm just sort of drawn first, so throughout this, him being in this planet, John wants to, he figures out that Lois has been learning about Bruno Mannheim because he's been doing stuff to keep himself busy, so he learns that from Clark, and then he tries to figure out what's going on with the stuff that what Bruno's been up to, and Clark tells John that Lois spoke to the sister of John, Harry Irons, from this earth, so he actually approaches his sister and not thinks that a hand when later in the episode Bruno actually traps her with a device, and Bruno's guys tells John to get caught, and he speaks to Bruno about this that he's been up to, and then the fact that Bruno obviously now knows that this John Harry Irons is from the Earth, from the world or whatever, and he actually has the sister captured with the bunch of devices the original John Harry Irons built, and so he learns how he eventually finds her, and then he has a few seconds to save her. So eventually he learns that this is definitely switching. He technically made it too, so it's that sort of fingerprint in on that the machine is able to save her. So if we could have her eat Dren to he wants to threaten Bruno to attack him and basically get rid of him, and he can't just the sister and original John Henry Irons has a family in New Orleans, so then he basically is doomed to be choose Mannheim here. So he tells Clark that he wants to have he was actually a few weeks ago, security system set up for them that he didn't strike. Bruno wants the right time to play it right here. Just feel bad for everything that's happened with those characters revolving like John, and the first character just feels a little much for them. First episode we see that Lois needs to relax because of she needs to rest because of what she's been going through, and Jonathan and John were fighting about a sweater, and Clark didn't. What are you doing? Like, you just fight over a sweater? Yeah. Or we see eventually in the episode, Jonathan talks to, not Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan talks to Candice, and then he eventually talks to her dad, and then basically he punches the dude, and all these things that happen with eventually has a black eye, and then Lois finds out, and that makes her even more mad, and then she goes to the father, which is weird. Just why would you bring the kids with you? You know, why would you bring Jonathan and Jordan with you? Which is a bad idea. The same dude pointed at John towards Lois when on not remember basically not he didn't point at her, but he threatened her with it, which really pissed her off, and obviously then she goes home, and then she has a headache, and then it's all a disaster for them. And also on a side note, Jordan is with Sam, and he wants to give Jordan a haircut because he was early in the episode, Jordan and Superman were saving people in a forest fire, so there were cameras there, and so he didn't want this they want his secret identity to be a secret. We made a secret, and the haircut basically Sam mentions that basically the haircut will not will help him. It will not the hair he has will it's basically giving away of a possibility of him being outed as a superhuman. I mean, meta-human. This universe. So eventually, he said he gets mad, and then Sam gets a little upset, which is rightfully so. I mean, he wants to help Jordan out, and then he doesn't, and it's eventually he comes full circle and apologizes to Sam. So I really love how that really is. And then this episode we have Kyle and Sarah talking to each other about what happened with Lana and her mom. I mean, Lana and her daughter, which is Sarah. So, and Sarah tells Kyle that Sarah uses the actions that Kyle made as a way to like clap back at Lana, which made her slap Sarah, and so that was really upsetting. And then they all eventually try to do their best to communicate with each other, and they eventually do find a persona, which I really love it. And they Kyle and Lana basically tell Sarah that they're there for her, and then they want to make sure that they want to none of this stuff happens again, and just doesn't want to cause any more commotion that's feels unnecessary for them. So they actually bond really well in this episode. I love how these characters feel that relatable with each other, and they will do whatever they can to try to learn and understand each other from their past actions, and make sure they will understand that they, in a way, they all did something wrong in some way, which led all that to happen. So, and they actually, like I said, for the show, I mean, characters that come full circle, they also do as well, and they actually forgive each other in the end. Maybe not Kyle and Lana in that way, but they come to understanding why this happened and why they set it up in that way. So eventually, Lois in this episode has a headache, and which really pisses Claude off. And keep in mind also, in the beginning of the episode, Jonathan tells that the parents that his truck was stolen, which and then the black eyed and Lois talking about the fact that the dude threatened her with a gun, which means Claude going to the diner, which is probably where she works, which is obviously true that you see a photo of her right there. She works there, and her dad is there, and Claude is there, and we have Sarah, Kyle, and Lana sitting on the side after they were talking to each other, and you see it all go down. And actually, to my opinion, one of the best scenes of Superman and Lois this season so far. He stands up for himself as Claude, and he basically threatens the dude to not go after Jonathan or Lois, and studying the XK kryptonite drug that Candice was also involved in the previous season. So he basically walks away, and then so it's really upsetting. Even Claude brings up the fact that it's really upsetting that he has to do this in front of Candice. Suggests to watch her all go down, and it's fortunately something that she's used to. So that scene kind of reminded me of an episode of Supergirl where Supergirl was wearing the Supergirl suit, but she didn't have her powers and just trying to stop the robbery that's going on. I don't know if you guys remember that episode. You guys watch it, but hopefully it kind of reminded me of that, even though it wasn't the same exact situation. Well, this episode was done really well. I really love how each character actually has their moments, and they all do so much for each other, and they care about what happens within their lives and the people around them, and they will do whatever they can to protect them in some way. And then eventually Candice ends up staying with Clark and Lois and the boys. So the boys have their own rooms together, and Candice will have one of the guys' rooms. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah. Keep in mind, I also have to go back in where Candice lives that retains. So Batman and Superman had to fight someone, and he got destroyed with kryptonite, and so the DoD had to save his life. So they took a sip of his blood, and it got out there. Luckily, Sam had more vials of his blood, and Sam would do every time to make sure he tells Superman that he'll make sure none of the other bloods go out there again, and Superman is like, he trusts him, but he just destroys the blood right in front of him, the remaining blood in front of him. So that's something very important to realize, is that the stuff with his blood is actually very dangerous. It's trade dangerous for Superman. Yeah, so just want to put that out there. I almost forgot. Overall, wonderful episode. What do you guys think about this episode? Is there anything that stood out to any of you? And what do you guys think about that scene at the diner? And do you think to do with the father would come back and like change his life around for Candice? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see all of you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you're listening or if you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.